Today, I'm going to try and create the perfect any card at any number trick. But I have a few rules to follow. You see, the story begins a couple of weeks ago when I receive a message from fellow magician and YouTuber Reid Ferry. Reid makes this amazing series called the Sleight Off. And in the Sleight Off, two magicians compete against each other to make a certain effect. But the twist is they give each other 3 sleight of hand moves that they have to use in that trick. So basically, I have to make an any card at any number trick using 3 sleight of hand moves that Reid chooses. So the question is, what moves have I been given? Alright, so he sent me a message. I've been given the Tenkai Palm, the Wormhole Change, and Seamless, which is a card control. I'm already starting to think of ideas. This is going to be really interesting and really difficult as well. So without further ado, let's get cracking on creating the perfect ACAAN. All right, first thing to make sure of is that I can do the moves. So I'm just gonna see how good I am at them, and I'm gonna watch a quick tutorial on the Wormhole Change. So first of all, Tenkai Palm, I've got the Tenkai Palm down. That is something that I'm comfortable with. Seamless control. Now here we go. I believe the seamless control looks a little bit like this. Oh, that wasn't very good. Okay, a little bit better. I think I'm a bit out of practice because I've literally not done that move in years. So this is this is really challenging. Okay, let's find a tutorial for the Wormhole Change. Here we go. Okay, so Reid himself has actually done a tutorial for the move, which is very helpful. So, I've just spent the last couple of hours playing around with the moves, non-stop, on loop, trying to come up with different uses for them. I've written the 3 sleights down here and I'm just listing everything I can think of and returning to it later, just seeing what works. And this is such an unusual puzzle because normally when you're creating a trick, you just pick whatever sleights feel most natural and whatever fits best. Whereas here, I'm having to make the sleights fit because I don't have a choice. I have to use these sleights and I've got to make them work somehow. That's the puzzle at the moment. So it's challenging. I feel like I'm getting somewhere with the Tenkai Palm. I feel like that's the most simple one. The idea at the moment involves the dice. I'll quickly show you what I'm talking about. Because obviously it's an any card, any number trick, I have to have a number selected. So I thought about just using a dice and rolling a dice to have the number picked. But now I have the dice, I may as well use it as a prop, not just as a selection tool. So I'm thinking something along the lines of like putting the dice on top of the deck and having their number of cards rise above the dice so that we end up with something like this. I want something slightly different that's still an any card at any number but sort of has this more, I don't know, physical element to it. That's the idea at the moment. Yeah, I'll see what I can come up with. I was practicing my seamless control late last night and I wrote down an idea for the structure of the trick because at the moment I've kind of been thinking of 3 independent ideas, but I'm at that stage now where I really need to start thinking about the story of this trick. I feel like I've hit a brick wall with it at the moment. I can't get past this issue of making it feel like one thing. A magic routine should feel like one continuous performance, even though it's made up of multiple tricks. And at the moment, this just feels like 3 random ideas strung together. It needs reordering, it needs restructuring, dare I say it needs going straight back to the drawing board and coming up with a different idea altogether because it's not working. There's good things about it. I like the idea of the dice and having the cards sort of appear above that. That's a good physical twist on any card at any number, but the seamless control, the Wormhole Change especially, don't fit. They don't feel like they fit the narrative. So yeah, pretty much I'm drawing a blank on the current idea, which is very annoying. So I just spent a little while experimenting with the idea of having a twist ending to this any card, any number. The twist being that on the back of the card, I would have the number printed. This is a kicker that I sometimes use in any card at any number. But in this instance, it's not quite working. There's a few complications. First of all being you have to hide the back of the card in order to hide that surprise ending. And with some of the controls I'm using and some of the sleights I'm using, it's not quite working. And also, it means that you have to force the card and you have to force the number. And because I'm using dice, I don't particularly want to use a force. So yeah, it's proving to be a little bit complicated, so I'm gonna save this idea for another time. But it was worth trying. These things are always worth trying, and filming the creative process is such a difficult thing to do, but if you take one thing away from this video, it's just try stuff. Just write down ideas, see if they work, and in this case, this idea didn't work on this occasion, but it's always worth just giving it a go. So with that being said, and this idea put to one side for now, I've realized that I'm actually not that far away with this trick. Like, I've got the structure, I've got the presentation that I want to use, which ironically has been staring me in the face the whole time what this presentation should be. I'm gonna talk about how to do an any card, any number, which is what this whole video has been about, but as a presentation it really works, because I'm gonna talk a little bit about method in the trick, in the performance, and it just allows me to connect these ideas really, really well, and yeah, I think it works. Now it's just about ironing it out, making sure it is completely bulletproof, and hopefully getting a performance video down by the end of the day. Any card at any number is one of my personal favourite effects, partly because there are just so many ways of doing it. Like seriously, there are hundreds, if not thousands of ways of doing this effect. And today I'm going to teach you two methods that can accomplish any card, any number, that being a switch and a control. A switch and a control. In order to demonstrate these, I of course need any card and any number. So we'll stop right there, and this is the card. The 4 of spades is going to play the part of our any card. As for the number, we use this dice. As you can see, random numbers. We've got 5, we've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 6. You get the idea. This is actually a real dice from a real Las Vegas casino. So I can shake it up in my hand. Whatever it stops on, we will use. Here we go. 1. 1 right there, right on top of the dice. Interesting. 1. Okay, now 1 is technically the top card of the deck, but it doesn't matter because we can demonstrate a switch. So the top card is the 6 of spades. Now I'm going to take the 6 of spades, which is obviously not what we're looking for, and I'm going to execute a switch. So here we go. 6 of spades, 1 finger, 3, 2, 1. It changes into the 4 of spades, the correct card. So that is a switch. Now it's time for a control. So I'm going to take the 4 of spades, lose it into the pack, probably about 20 cards from the top or so, and we'll use a different number this time. 5. Fantastic. 5 cards, the 4 of spades. If you were here, you could choose the number, you could choose whatever you wanted. Here we go. We will actually isolate the deck, just like so, under the dice. And with just a blow, cards rise through the deck. Not just that, they rise through the dice and end up on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like the dice said. And that 5th card is the 4 of spades. So there we have it. That is my attempt at creating an any card at any number effect using 3 randomly selected sleight of hand moves. Was my final performance perfect? No, I don't think so. I think it was far from it, but I think it was okay for 3 days. Yes, if I worked on this for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, obviously it would get a load better, but I really enjoyed this process. I think creating magic under those sort of parameters just throws up lots of interesting ideas. There was stuff in there that I never would have otherwise created, so for that I'm very grateful. And remember that this is a collab, so I've left a link down in the description to Reid Ferry's channel where you can check out his attempt at creating an any card at any number using 3 sleight of hand moves that I gave him. I'm sure he will have done a wonderful job at that, so make sure to go and check him out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button down below on your way out. That is always really appreciated, really helps the channel out. Not entirely sure why, but you gotta please the YouTube algorithm gods. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and join me on the journey. If you like anything and anything to do with magic, then this is the channel for you. Did I just say anything and anything? I meant anything and everything. You know what? Doesn't matter. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.